If you ever broke an arm or just did your annual checkup, you probably have been sent to do an X-ray. An X-ray is a very good example of medical imaging devices that allows physicians to look inside the human body and determine what's normal and what's not. I come from a different field of medical imaging known as optical imaging, where we can give you information that traditional imaging like X-ray can't. I can tell you the concentrations of different tissue compositions, such as water, fat, and hemoglobin. And these tissue compositions correspond to the progression of certain diseases like cancer and the effectiveness of certain treatments like chemotherapy. And we do that simply by shining a light into the tissue and picking up the light. But it's not that simple, because the human body is anything but simple. If we take a brain image, for example, we have to go through the skin, the skull, the cerebral fluids in order to get to the brain. And our setup ends up looking something more like this. A complicated array of sources and detectors, where the shorter the distance between a source and detector, the more information we get about superficial tissues. And the longer that distance gets, the deeper we look into the tissue. In my research, I want to re-envision optical imaging as something more clinically accessible, something closer to Mr. Spock's scanner over there, where we can scan through the tissue and pick up abnormalities. But even more, have a knob or a switch that allows us to selectively look at superficial layers and deeper layers. I achieve that by taking advantage of wave interference. When two waves of light interfere, they can add up and they can cancel out and they can do everything else in between. And by controlling that interference, I end up shining different light patterns inside the tissue. And some of these light patterns are more sensitive to the superficial tissues, and some are more sensitive to the deeper tissues. And that's my knob. I have been able to validate this technology against the standard optical imaging in terms of accuracy and sensitivity, and I have been successfully able to recover the concentrations of hemoglobin from real data. By the end of this project, I want to achieve Mr. Spock's vision. But more importantly, I want to provide physicians and patients with a medical imaging tool that's simple, reliable, and give them access to information that traditional imaging like X-ray can't. So maybe the next time when you go and you do your annual checkup, you will get more health information and more parameters about your body than what an X-ray can provide.